Welcome to the 3G Fitness Podcast,
where 3 generations of trainers come together to discuss all things fitness related.
Join us as we share insights, tips, and stories from our diverse experiences as we unravel the secrets of staying fit.
Welcome everybody. Today we're going to talk about the machine versus the free weight. Which one gets the best pump?
Which one gets the best pump?
Okay.
We could just talk about it. Mike throwing us some curveballs over here.
Off the bat, I would say machines. Boom.
That give you the best pump?
That give you the best pump. Why? Because you can get that constant tension on machines. Better than free weights.
That's true, and bodybuilders go with that, But to me, if you're looking for strength and power, it's free weights. But the question I have
The question was the pump.
The pump.
Right. Well, that's what I'm talking about. Pump.
The pump isn't just strength and power.
It's power, but it's being swole. Okay.
It's getting that
the question,
blood
the question
into
I
that
want to
muscle.
the question I want to ask. Okay, doing tricep and doing pull downs. That's a good one. But it's from a machine. Okay?
Wait. Doing tricep pull downs?
How do we go from getting the best
Pull
pump
down.
to then going to... Hold on, let's finish the first question first.
What gives you the best pump?
Yeah.
I get a good.
What do you
pump
think,
with-
machines or free weights?
Okay, well, when it comes to the pump, it's got to be machines. I will say that. Mentally, I will always go free weights, though. I just love moving free weights.
But why?
Huh?
Why do you like moving?
Mentally, it's just a mental thing. Like, I know that I feel like I am engaging more, but when you're going for the best pump is the one that's probably going to allow me to do more reps. And I feel like I can get more reps on a machine because not just that, the machine keeps you stabilized and you're really able to isolate whatever muscle you're
Keyword,
trying.
isolate,
You're trying to pump, right?
Well,
You can still do reps with free weights.
You can
but
still do
it's
reps
like-
with free weights.
It keeps
Yeah.
you stabilized.
Yeah, it keeps you stabilized.
Exactly.
And that's the key
Yeah.
word is that, like, if like, that's why we're saying for the pump, all right, I'll go for that. But like, see, me mentally, I always like.
What about for strength?
Probably free weights.
Free weights,
For sure, 'cause
free
it
weights.
just challenge you more.
We got
Challenges
the
your
terminology.
core more. You
yeah.
have to stabilize it yourself more. So it's just more power output in general for free
right.
weights.
But that's why, like I said, it also depends on the goal. Like I said, we're going off of the question that you asked and whatnot, and we've already established all three of us have different goals or anything like that. But let's just go more. Let's even go more into a general goal. Let's just say you have someone who is trying to lose weight, and this is their first time stepping foot into the gym.
Well, it would definitely be free. It would definitely be machine because
okay.
it's safer.
Machine to
Yes.
start.
It's
Yeah,
safer.
for sure. I agree.
Okay,
I agree.
That is a definite. It's safer.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's the pros and cons, right? Where
Right.
like the
Why,
pros.
is it safer?
Well, because it's more stabilized.
Okay.
When you're doing free weights, you're free,
Right.
right? You drop it, it's going
On
down.
your machines, you're not free.
You're not free.
When you're on a machine, you drop it, boom, it'll
No,
stay.
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And
Right,
then,
right.
but when you're on freeways, you drop it, man. You
But just to clarify that, yeah, so machines is more in a fixed position,
yeah.
whereas like free weights, it has no fixed positions, like,
So if for a first time client, okay, you guys got a first time client, never lifted weights before, and you've decided you've probably gone through cardio and done all that other exercise prior to this. Now you're moving into weights. Where would you go first?
Huh?
I would like if I were to go like to a machine first, or
no, your first time client, and you say, okay, you're ready to start on weights. What would you do? Where would you go?
I think I know what you're trying to talk about. I kind of divide it into the movements, right? So let's say, for example, I'm teaching someone to do a bench, right? I start with a cable machine press first, or maybe like just those stationary
chest press
machines, right?
Yeah.
And then I go into something less stable, which is probably cables, and then after that would go into dumbbells and barbells, which is completely unstable.
Basically, you would start them off on machines,
and then just gradually
move
get into the free
right
weights.
into the free weights.
Because it does get more challenging and challenging.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
because you got to remember when we're dealing with somebody new, and I'm very sure all of us do. We all do a quick little body assessment with them too, within
Right.
like the first 5 to 10 minutes.
That's true. Yeah.
That will tell us a lot what their body can handle, what imbalances they might have, or anything like that. So if you see someone really like struggling to do a push up, you know, and even struggling to do a push-up against a wall or something like that. Whereas like they're doing like a warm thing like that. It's like, you know what, we need to put you on a machine because right now your core is too unstable or anything like that, and let's just focus on this movement.
Right,
and very, very similar to Kyle. Okay, once we get that movement down on the machine, all right, now let's take that back support away from you. Let's take it to a cables, and now you're teaching them to properly engage their core and things like that. All right, and then after a while, let's go revisit that push up, and I think that would be the best way to do it. Like I said, dealing with a brand new client.
Yeah.
Okay, but then now we're going back to, like I said, different goals or anything like that. What do you prefer? You personally, Mike.
As an individual?
Yeah, you as an individual.
Who's not a complete beginner.
Yeah,
who's
you're not a
been
complete
lifting
beginner.
for years.
You love strength. You also know where you're at right now in your life at the age of 67 and whatnot.
It's actually 50-50.
It's 50-50.
Okay, there's just some workouts I would do with free weights, but I also love cables. You know, and I almost look at cables as like free weights, really, because you know, you let it go.
That's I look at cables as
it's
a transition.
In between, it's in between
that's
free
like
weights and
transition,
machines for sure.
Yeah, but I do very little machine work.
Okay.
Really?
Mostly it's on cables and pulleys and stuff like that. I don't.
I would say that's machine work.
I don't really use the stealth. You know, and machines like that.
Is it because based on how you grew up, and you've shared this with us, you grew up lifting in pretty much in a yard or anything like that, where I'm very sure it was more free weights.
More free weights.
Straight up
Yeah. So
and barbells.
you know, when you started going into more of a commercialized gym that offered machines, you know, Venice or anything like that, did that kind of transition you and open your eyes to get into machines, or did you still favor the free
I still
weights?
favored free weights. I favor free weights all the way.
Okay.
I've always have done that. But like I said, I do like, you know, pulleys and stuff like that, like, you know, cable pulls and, you know, pull downs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've always liked that. But when it came to the bench, I always would go free, because that's that's what I was raised on.
Yeah.
I'm like opposite.
You know,
You're the opposite?
Yeah, I favor.
so if I went to a gym,
machines more.
that had a lot of machines in it, you know,
You
because there are
wouldn't be
a couple
happy?
of there are a
God
couple
dang.
in there. I'd walk in and I'd walk out.
Yeah. See, not me. I lied. When I first started lifting, it was definitely more free weights because I didn't really know much about using machines properly. Because you do need to have a certain technique as well for machines to really like utilize.
To get the right.
Exactly. Right angles, right everything, you know. So but
why do
definitely
you-
now.
Yeah, why do
I
you
still
favor the
prefer? Just because I get like that isolation, and you know, I get a massive pump out of it, being that I'd like bodybuilding. But I still do train free weights just for the functional part of it, because it does challenge you in different planes of motion, you know. So a little bit of both, but mainly machines.
Here's one question, which and I think is an easy one, but let's see, which out of the two, free weights or machines, which one has a higher injury rate?
Free weights.
Free weights.
All right,
Man, I've gotten injured so many times, you know, doing free weights. This is damaging my cartilages and stuff, you know, where probably if I was doing machine, I wouldn't be in such bad shape.
Yeah.
And that, it's a love you have for something. You know, you feel doing free weights, you hit a goal, you hit a max. It's not the same as hitting a max on machine. It's just not the same.
I do
For
agree
sure.
with that.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
You know.
I think benching 225 on the actual bench press, and then you go on a chest press machine and put
it's different.
225.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
It's not the same. You know,
You're all braced up in a machine. you
Yeah.
know, whereas like
so I
free weights,
understand.
it's like,
I understand why bodybuilders like machine weights, because it's
there's that constant tension
right.
Yeah.
that really brings like that
And-
blood flow into the muscle. Whereas
Yeah,
like
and you don't you know, form wise, you don't, you know, go off form and stuff like that, because everything's stabilized. So you know, I
Exactly.
understand that, but you
Exactly.
know, a power lifter would look at that and say, "Man, no, I don't want that," you know, and stuff. So, you know, using a Smith machine versus a barbell,
yeah.
come on. You know,
What about it?
So would you,
I feel it's like two apples and oranges.
it is, right? Yes, it is. They're
Yes,
both
yes,
fruit.
it
They're
is.
both fruit,
It
right?
is, yes.
But you know, because it's funny. I do have some friends that will tell me they bench, and then when they show me a video of them benching, it's on a Smith machine.
It's like completely different. They're like, that is, man.
but then what would you label a Smith machine? I mean, obviously it's a machine, right? Do you categorize it more as a regular chest press machine, or remember how we said cables more are like a transition into free weights?
I think it's like that transition.
You think it's like that transition?
It is a transition because you can learn to deadlift with the Smith machine, and take that and jump into free weights and kind of have that form. Because you worked on it with this, but the weight is like not the same.
No, it's not.
You know, and you got to kind of let people know, hey, you know, it's completely different.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
it's
but you
different
can
in the sense
learn
that the Smith machine puts it in a straight path for you already, whereas like in a free weight, you might,
that's the
not
thing,
be a straight path if you're not stable.
Yeah, so, the Smith machine is a good machine.
But stop, man. But
do you have anything to say about going to?
What's that?
Do you have anything to say about?
Do you have anything to say about going to failure?
No, I was gonna let you guys. I was gonna let you guys do it this time. You're all looking at. Hey, go ahead. Hey, our producers up here are putting signs up. I'm wondering, is anybody gonna say anything?
Why are we laughing?
We got a teleprompter. That's
we have a teleprompter, and Mike always transitions to the teleprompter so quick without smoothly going into it. Oh, it's an ongoing joke.
So you guys you wait for me then, right?
No, we wait to transition when it's needed. But like I said, well, going back to it, then every goal is different or anything like that.
Every goal is different. There's benefits to both.
There's benefits to both. You did mention functional training better with dumbbells. What
free
about
weights in general,
free weight? I mean, free weights in general. Kettlebells. What are you guys' stance on kettlebells?
Free weights.
Yeah, right.
It is a free weight for sure.
What's so important about them? What differentiates a kettlebell from a dumbbell?
Well,
it's
the
just
grip.
the move it plants at the end of the day. I mean,
It's a grip.
It's a grip. Also, the distribution.
The distribution of weight, but like there are some people who just literally swear by kettlebells and nothing else. They like kettlebell training is all they do.
Yeah,
and they're like super
actually,
functional.
kettlebell training is great. When you're raise one up and you're walking down and raise the other one up, you're doing K-bells and stuff.
Yeah, there's so many different movements you can do with just a kettlebell.
So, for what type of clientele would you recommend kettlebells for? And I mean, everyone. I would go
sure.
everyone, but
senior.
If they're
senior, nice.
I would agree with that.
I actually agree with that a lot because it's funny. I actually use kettlebells with most of my senior clients and whatnot.
It's great for them, because you got so many different weights and they can handle, the grip is easier to handle, and it works you well as far as free weight.
Yeah, no, and that's good. And then what about this one then? Leg press versus squats.
Come on,
don't
ask me that question.
In terms of what? In terms of growth? Because in terms of growth, I'm going to say leg press.
Oh, man.
Because there was a time where I did 3 months of just straight leg pressing, no squats whatsoever. But I was hitting it 3 times a week. Dude, my legs grew.
Somebody asked me one time, man, I can lift like 8 plates on the
leg press.
On the leg press, but I can only lift 3 on squat.
But it also boils down to someone's body type because everyone's body reacts differently to different machines, right? Like the stimulus for one person might be different for someone else's stimulus. So it just depends on how someone's body reacts to the movement.
It does, like I said, because you said growth is more for your leg press or anything like that. Do you agree? Like for
some people grow more from squats.
Yeah, that's
for me, the reason I use leg presses is because the way you strengthen your hip flexors, when you use a leg press, by the positioning of it, but when you're gonna go to squats, it's a little bit different, the feel because you're on a leg press, you're on your back, pushing legs up. Now on squat, the weight is down.
Okay, so then
against gravity.
Yeah, and the reason why I bring that up is because I wanted to see you mentioned for growth you prefer the leg press over the squat. Now this is a very common one that we see a lot on social media is the hip thrusts. So free weight with a barbell or with an actual machine?
Free weight with a barbell.
For growth again?
Yeah.
Free
go
weight with
for-
the barbell.
free weight.
I don't look at the machine as strengthening your hip thrust.
Really?
No,
What about you,
and,
Kyle?
and you work harder when you're doing free weights on the hip thrust.
You do work
I
harder.
would
Ooh,
never.
that's tough.
I mean,
I would want to say machines again because of constant tension, but barbell hip thrust is also pretty
Right?
solid. Like,
It-
yeah, it's a big contender.
That's why.
But I have my client do both.
Yeah, I have my client do both. I actually like on one day we'll do the hip thruster, then the next time I'll see them, then we'll go and do barbell or anything like that. Just because I do feel like you said it's gonna be stabilizing and I
Yeah.
think activating even more in that
Right,
position.
right.
But it's like I said, it's you gotta
which
find
which
what
do they like?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which one do they like?
Exactly.
They-
but
yeah,
also, it's
yeah,
good
yeah.
to switch it up. In
Oh,
terms
which
of,
one does
you know,
my client like?
Yeah, which one?
My clients?
Because
Well,
you
okay.
said you rotate it.
Yeah. So
which one they
whenever
like?
I do rotate it with my clients, I do get more, I kind of get 50-50 because I do it with like 3 of them. Oh, shit, 50-50. And one of them, she just hates that movement in general. The other ones, one always wants to do it with the barbell. The other one says she likes the machine more. So it's like I said, it's up in the air. I will probably favor more, as a trainer, I will favor more the hip thruster machine because I can kind of correct them, engage them a little bit better. But I also will more, like for myself, I would rather do it on the barbell.
Okay.
So there's just certain things, like I said. But it just varies. Like I said, I think the machines, like at the end of the day, I will always say a combination of both. If I have to favor one over the other, like I said, it just depends on the goal. Like if you want the pump, I go with the machines.
Well,
If you want the strength, I go with the dumbbell,
the
the
reason
free
I-
weights.
Yeah,
to me,
it's good to go back and forth,
Yeah.
they don't like the
so they don't
machine
plateau.
because it's not it's not a true weight because they use the whole thing, and it says, "Wow, man, that's like equivalent to like 400 or 500 pounds."
Well, weight calibration on machines does not
It's not-
always
it's not the
translate
same.
to
Right.
weight
No, 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 no.
calibration in free
Directly,
weights.
no. Not
so
at all.
so to me, it puts a false image in their head.
Okay.
And so when I take them over to the hip thrust with free weight barbell, you put on like 3 plates. They're like, oh my God, it's heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because again, there's more factors that take into place. They have to actually stabilize it now. Use their core a little bit more, aside from just like being braced up against
Right,
like
because
a.
you got a belt
like a
on
pad,
it,
yeah.
and so I don't know. I'm not much of a machine person.
Yeah, I don't think I ever see you like train much with machines. You're always more of a free weights.
I use cable.
Unless it's a tricep push down, then he's always on that.
Yeah, I use that
24/7.
I use
Yeah.
pull back triceps and stuff, and I use a lot of that. But that's about it.
Yeah. yeah.
Well, what about lat pull downs? You
I do. I use the pull down.
yeah, you go lat pull downs over pull ups because wouldn't pull ups be considered free
That's
weights?
what I do.
'Cause
That's why I can do pull ups.
Yeah.
Because I do a lot of lat pull downs behind the main front. And for old man, that's not bad.
No.
No, we've seen you do
Yeah,
pull ups
yeah,
or
yeah,
anything
for
like
sure.
that. So, but if you're gonna get stronger, you probably might get stronger with the lat pull down machine than with doing pull ups.
Well,
Mm,
I
'Cause
would
I feel
agree.
like
I would agree.
if you
with
can't
you
do a
on
pull up, you should
Yeah.
work on your lat pull downs.
Yes, exactly.
That would help
that
you
will work
with
on your lats.
pull-up.
That will let you do pull ups.
Yeah.
But pull ups to me don't strengthen you, make you stronger.
Oh,
It's
yes,
like
it
push
does.
up. It's like push ups. They don't really make you stronger. They make you.
I get what you're saying.
Okay.
You get tighter
Because of the load, like
Yeah.
you can't load it up as if you were doing like a bench where
Right.
you can add more resistance.
Right.
But I mean,
It's a
people-
good
people
car-
do-
it's a,
people
it's a
can
good
do-
it's a good cardio thing.
in a push up, in a push up, I can get right because you can't really load much. But some people add weight on
yeah,
pull ups
they put them on the
belt.
Yeah.
or so
Right. But
that
it's a
could
good it's a
definitely
good
build strength.
cardio exercise.
Whoa.
I don't know about that one.
You
Pull ups
say
can definitely build strength.
push ups is
Yeah, I use it in my group setting.
Your group.
Oh, your group fitness.
Circuit
your
train-
group circuit
circuit
training.
train-
You use it in your group circuit training.
Yeah, I use it in my circuit training.
Every Tuesday, Thursdays.
Oh yeah.
6:30 p.m. Catch Mike.
Interesting.
Do it.
Okay, so all right, so let's recap on our views on free weights versus machines.
All right.
Mhm.
It's about 50-50. They're both pretty good, just depending on what your goal is.
Yeah.
Do we agree that like free weights is the easier version of the two? And if someone were to enter training, you'd push them to free weights more, and then gradually go into machines more, and then into free
I
weights.
was about to say, I'll go machines first.
Yeah,
Yeah,
machines
I
first.
think machines is a great way.
I'll push them into machine first.
Yeah,
and then slowly push them into
I
the free
still
weights.
use the stealth machine at times, for
Yeah.
squats and for lunges and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I use that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I would.
I think that's good to like let the audience know, because there are a lot of people who like newcomers, especially like some females, where it's like they go straight into the free weights
because
and
that's
then
what they see on
exactly,
social media.
and then you tell them to do machines, they're like, oh no, I'm too scared, this and that. But free weights would actually be easy for you,
free weights or machines.
Sorry, machines. I keep saying
Man, what's wrong with you?
Machines.
Yeah, dude.
it's hot, yo. It's hot in here. But
It's hot
Yeah.
in here. Well, no, yeah, machines are easier and best to do. And like I said, I think the best advice I remember I've given a buddy of mine was, hey man, do a couple of weeks of machines, couple of weeks
Yeah.
of free weights, just keep alternating back and forth, and then just engage those numbers. Like if you were doing 50 pounds on this machine for 2 weeks, go use some dumbbells, switch it up. When you revisit that machine, bump it up to 60, 70 pounds and see what you can, progressive overload and
Right,
whatnot.
yeah.
So you want to always, now you don't want to be the same sucker that's going to be saying on the same, if you've been using machines for like
Well, I
6
see you-
months and whatnot.
I see you use a lot of free weight.
Yeah.
I don't see you use a lot of machine.
Well, because I do use a lot of machines.
You
I
do?
actually, yeah.
Oh.
So I usually go with like pull downs. I love,
Well, that's
love
another thing.
Smith
Pull
machines.
downs. I know it's from a machine.
not Smith machines,
but I
hammer
also
press.
feel like it's
it's
a
the
term
heat, dude.
of
It's a
It's the
heat.
heat.
Yeah.
it's a term of free weight. Really.
Which one, Smith?
Like pull downs and
Well,
stuff.
pull downs, but but then
Yeah.
like I said, that's why even like the last 2 weeks I've actually been hitting up commercial gyms, and I always like hammer strength machines. The ones
Oh,
I
love
love
that.
hammer
Yes,
strength
absolutely.
machines where you load
have
up
the
with
best
plates and you
contraction, honestly,
and you
for,
can
like,
isolate it too, because
Yeah.
that's the other thing too. You want to isolate it. So with machines that work together, like say a chest press,
It's
together.
even.
It's even. So maybe if you're getting tired and you fatigue out, maybe your dominant side is going to overcompensate for the side that gives out. So
I'll look at free weights like this. I'll look at free weights like this and look at machines like this. Machine, you're not going to get hurt if it's not going to fall on you. Okay, free weight is going to fall on you. That's why I think using pull downs and doing pull downs and stuff like that, you can get hurt.
You can get hurt from machines if you do it wrong.
yeah.
So you
Well-
still need to learn like the proper technique.
Well,
And that's why getting a professional.
Dropping something on you.
Yeah.
Always get a professional to work with
Exactly.
you.
Yes.
Because like you said, it's like you say if you don't properly adjust a seat on a machine, and all of a sudden you're like pressing too high and you're putting too much strain
Right,
on your
exactly.
shoulder where you're
Yeah.
supposed to be on
Yeah.
your chest and
100%.
whatnot.
Exactly.
You've seen that happen. So you got to really get educated too. And even though directions are on some machines, you go at every gym and you can see people are not
Still
reading
not
up.
enough. Yeah, it's still
So,
not enough.
But I think it's getting a combination of both. I will agree that maybe the starter base would be machines.
Machine.
Yeah,
Always,
Yeah,
little
for
machine.
for beginners, it should be.
And then you make your
machines.
advancement after that to
Yeah,
free
yeah.
weights.
When you're a little more advanced, you can honestly do both.
Yeah, well,
There's
because there's a way how you
benefits
do it.
to
Because,
both.
like you said, it's
Exactly.
one of those where
Yeah.
Kyle he's trying to get that pump and bodybuilding. And he gets it more with machines. I get it more with machines too.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just like mentally, I like seeing that weight move
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
I like lifting up that weight. It's a mental thing for me. But if you going back to the very first question you asked, which gives you the best pump, I will say machines give you the best pump.
Machines. Yes.
So
I agree.
So those who are afraid of machines, let's say for like the complete beginners out there who are
I
just
kind of missed that one right there. I'm a free weight man. I don't. Okay, when you talk about pump, what do you talk about?
I'm just gonna cut off my thing like that. That's crazy.
No, are you talking about how swole you are, or when you talk about pump, what do you talk about? How you feel, or what?
a pump is just like, if anything, like
Everybody knows what the pump is.
Pump is
you
like
know
when
what
you're-
the
I'm
pump
just
is.
asking. I'm asking.
when the blood is flowing and your
To
muscles
me,
just pops up more.
when I get a pump, man, my muscles are there. I can barely.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's the pump.
I get that from free weights.
And like I said earlier, it just depends on the person.
I guess it must, because that's where I get mine. I get my pump from free weights.
Mm-hmm.
If I can't bend my arms and stuff, then I know I got a pump.
All right, Mike. Kyle, as you were saying.
Yeah, so like for those complete beginners who are, just starting off with the dumbbells and you feel like you're struggling, don't be afraid to start with the machines.
Yeah.
Machines is a good way to start.
Because
and
you
learn.
get a trainer, they're going to start you on a machine anyway,
Yeah,
right?
but it's a good way to learn the movement pattern itself. If you're not stable in a free weight, the movement pattern for the machines is easier to learn and progress towards free weights.
Yeah. So, like I said, always get your education from someone that is knowledgeable, a professional, and always take the time to do everything properly. Like I said, if you guys technique and form. So once you guys can get a handle of it, you guys will find what works best for you. As you can see, we all have 3 different opinions. Some of us agree, some of us disagree. But like I said, figure your body out and you'll definitely know what works best for you. Final words, Michael.
Nah, no final words today. You got any?
Nah.
I'm a free weight man. That's what I can tell you. That's what I've always been.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
There's
Nothing wrong with that. So thank you guys for tuning in.
Yes,
I'm Coach
sir.
Cisco.
I'm Coach Michael.
And I'm Coach Kyle.
Catch
See
you
y'all
on the next one.
Vader.